Hey, I'm Jim Brogan, and today we're going to do brisket. Now, I'm going to do a whole brisket. Now, since I've really been getting into this hobby in the last year, every time I've done brisket, I've only done the point meat. What I've done, I've had the butcher cut off just the point, because to me, that's the best part. Nice and marbled, got lots of flavor. But today, if I'm going to be a true smoker and barbecue man, I have to at some point step up and do the whole brisket. So welcome to Smoking with Jim. All right, I got my whole packer brisket right here, and I've got my ingredients. So this is soy sauce. I'm gonna rub this sucker down with a little bit of soy sauce, and then I've got my salt and pepper, and I've got 2 parts pepper, 1 part salt. Now this is kosher salt and coarse ground pepper. Now I gotta give some shout out to my brother John. So my brother in Texas, he's been cooking brisket for 30 years. And so he told me this recipe on how to do this. I know, most of us have not seen soy sauce. I did this with some plate ribs a few months ago that he recommended with this same recipe, and it was unbelievable. So, you know what? He's been doing this for 30 years. So for my first whole packer brisket, I'm going to do it the way he said. Now, my wife did tell me, you've certainly seen soy sauce. You just I haven't seen many put soy sauce on a brisket. So the idea here is it forms a binder. It's got a little bit of flavor. And then you add the pepper, the salt and pepper rub. And then the reason we don't use quite as much salt, normally you do a 1-to-1 ratio, but as my brother taught me, that soy sauce has a good bit of salt in it too. So this will be just perfect. Now I'm gonna flip it over and do the other side. I've already got the soy sauce on here. And now we're gonna drench this sucker with this rub. Just real simple, salt and pepper. And we're gonna go liberal, this meat can take it. It's a big old boy. This was 14.5 pounds before I trimmed it. And I got this from Double R Ranch. This is a prime cut of brisket that I got from Double R Ranch out in Idaho. And I knew at some point I was gonna have to do the whole packer brisket. So I've had it in my freezer, and I got it out here a few days ago. It's nice and ready. And now we're just gonna let it hang out a little bit at room temperature. Okay, now the question comes up, how did I actually trim that thing? How did I learn to trim it? Because this is new to me on doing the whole packer cut. So what I did is kind of what many people consider to be kind of the king of brisket is Aaron Franklin down in Texas. So he's got some great videos online at YouTube. And then my go-to guy for all things barbecue, Malcolm Reed. I had Malcolm on my radio show a few months. He is a great, great guy. So I watched those videos to learn how to trim up this sucker. All right, I just put that sucker on the grill. Now here's the deal. I've been so excited about this brisket. I forgot that Tennessee was playing Kentucky in basketball. Oh my gosh, in Rupp Arena. Hey, we're coming back. We've tied it up. Hopefully we're going to pull this out. We got to pull this out because Tennessee's got to do it this year. But here's the deal. So Dee Dee left me to myself. She went to the bed, and I need this sucker ready at 6 p.m. tomorrow night. And, it's kind of cold out. It's in the 30s. It might get into the high 20s tonight. So I've got to give it plenty of time. So I'm putting it on, a little bit early. I'm putting it on at 10 p.m. on Saturday night because I figure it's going to take at least 14 hours, maybe 16. And I've got to give myself a little bit of wiggle room, and I need to let that sucker sit for at least an hour when it's done. But I can let it set for several hours if I need to. So I've gone ahead and put it on, and I mean, look at this sucker. Look at that. How does that look? That is a beautiful looking brisket on that smoker. So we're gonna close it up and let her cook. I'm gonna get up at 5:30 in the morning. I'm gonna check it and see if it has a good bark and a nice mahogany color. And then we'll wrap it in butcher paper. I'll see you in 8 hours. All right, it's been 8 hours. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning. And let's take a look at this bad boy. Now I've been cooking this at 250 degrees. Now, I was planning on doing about 235, 240, but with it being so cold outside, and Aaron Franklin, he does his up to 250, so I'm gonna go ahead. Went ahead and did it at 250. So let's take a look and see what we got here. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at how good that brisket looks. Look at that bark. It's, oh my gosh, it looks nice and mahogany. That rub looks incredible. All right, we're gonna get it off the grill and we're gonna wrap it in butcher paper. All right, I got this bad boy wrapped in butcher paper. And oh, by the way, for those of you that are wondering, Tennessee did win that basketball game. We came back and won by 11 points. We just killed them in the last 10 minutes of the game. But let's take a look. So I've wrapped this thing in butcher paper. And I've got my thermometer in there. And as of right now, it's about 165 degrees. A little warmer than I expected. I expected it to be around more like 150, maybe 155, but that's okay. It's doing great. This grill, this nice pellet smoker, it's really doing its job. So now it's time to let it set, and we're about to the point it's going to hit the stall, and we're just going to let it keep cooking. Raise it up to about 200 degrees. All right, we've got a really good looking brisket. This thing has been on for over 13 hours. A little over, close to 13 and a half hours. And man, it is cooked great. I thought it would take a little bit longer, honestly, because it's so big, but man, that cooker, it really performed. And I've, checking the temperature here with my instant read thermometer, and, see how soft that is? Just super soft. That's what you want. You want it to be like knife cutting butter. So we've got it up around 195 in this thickest part, and then down here on the flat, it's well up over 200. So we're gonna wrap this back, and I'm gonna put it in a cooler, and I've got enough time I can let it sit in there for a few hours. So this brisket has actually been sitting for 5 hours. But it's been in this cooler, and I have not opened the cooler. So hopefully it'll still be nice and warm. So let's see what we got here. All right, oh, I see the steam coming off of it. I've got that sucker wrapped in butcher paper. Let's bring it over here. And now's the moment of truth. Let's see what this sucker looks like. Oh my gosh. Are we ready? Oh man, I'm ready for this. Oh man, look at that, it's still steaming hot. Look at that, that looks awesome. It's about to fall apart. All right, I'm gonna set this out. Okay, it's time to slice this thing. All right, I'm really excited about this. Oh man, look at that. That looks so good. Let's just slice another piece, and then I gotta try this. Oh, it's just falling apart. It's so soft. Look at that. Look how soft that is. Oh my gosh, I gotta try it right now. You know what? For my first time doing a whole brisket, not just the point meat, that's pretty dang good. And I'm gonna have to give more props to my brother, John, for hooking me up on the recipe on the rub, which is real simple, but it is so stinking good. And then my cooking technique I learned from kind of a combination, again, of Aaron Franklin and Malcolm Reed. It's really, really fantastic. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut up the rest of this brisket, and then I'm gonna cube up some of the point meat for burnt ends, and then we're gonna have some good eating. All right, I've carved all this up. I have to say that both myself and many of my guests have already eaten a whole bunch of this stuff. But this part down here, these are the burnt ends. These cubes down here, these are from the point side of the brisket. This is unbelievable. I've never had brisket. I don't think I've ever had brisket quite like this. Oh my gosh, that's so juicy. Unbelievable. Thanks for tuning in.